Welcome to day 5 of learning how to design your own models for 3D printing, and in today's video, we're going to learn how to make this 3D printable carabiner from start to finish. This is a fun, functional design that anyone can design from scratch. It's perfect for beginners and it's a functional design. Now, I do want to mention, since this is 3D printed and simply made from plastic, I would not recommend using this for outdoor use or for hiking. This is simply for educational purposes and as well as for your own personal use. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into my computer and get started. So to start, the first thing we want to do here is open up a blank new canvas within Fusion. So I'll go ahead and create a new design within Fusion, select Parts Design, then select Create New. Now, the first thing we need to do here is to create the overall sketch of our carabiner. Now, one thing to know is that this design isn't rectangular, nor is it circular like the previous designs we worked on. So we're actually going to import an image and then sketch out according to what that image looks like to create an accurate sketch of what our design is going to look like. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and create a rectangle. So the first thing I want to do here is click on Create Sketch, then select the bottom plane here. Now what we want to do here, clicking on Create, Rectangle, and I'm gonna go ahead and select Center Rectangle. Now, from the origin, I'm gonna go ahead and draw out a rectangle. This is gonna be used as my reference to estimate the sizing for what I'm gonna draw out my image to be within my canvas. So the way I'm gonna set this up is gonna be 76 millimeters for the height, and then to the width, this is gonna be 40 millimeters. Once done, I'll press Enter. And now you should have something that looks like this. Now, we won't be using this in our design. We're just simply gonna be using this as a reference. So I'll go ahead and import our image from our canvas menu. Additionally, I'm also gonna attach the image for this carabiner down below in the description. So go ahead and download that so you can use this within this diagram here. So to start, let's go ahead and select the image icon here on the top right-hand side, selecting Canvas, then Insert from my computer. And then I'll go ahead and attach the image into my canvas here. Once done, Fusion 360 will prompt us with a dialog box as to where we want to place this. I'm gonna go ahead and select this profile here, and then it's gonna go ahead and attach the image right in the center of our sketch. From here, what I wanna do is to ensure that the overall image, or more specifically the carabiner in this image, kind of lines up with the dimensions of this rectangle here. So I'm gonna use this square icon to kind of pivot this, kind of closest to the center at the bottom left-hand side, and then scale this up right around till it reaches kind of like where all the ends around the carabiner touches the ends of this rectangle. So it doesn't have to be perfect. This is more so eyeballing it. And I'll make this a little bit smaller. Try to get as close as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Once done, I think this looks good for me. I have the outer edge here touching the rectangle, the top close to the very top, then the right, then the bottom. Once done, I'll press OK. And now we can go ahead and toggle off our original sketch by hovering over to the left-hand side, toggling on the folder icon, and turning off sketch 1, as we'll no longer need it. Now we have a carabiner properly set to a proper sizing that will work for us, specifically within Fusion, in which we'll export into our slicer, so we have a proper size for our carabiner. Keep in mind there are other ways to set the dimensions for this, but for now, simply as an exercise, we're just simply gonna import this into Fusion and then get started sketching from there. To start, let's click on Create Sketch, then select the top plane here. Now what I wanna do here is to draw this out to the best of my ability. So I'm gonna use the line command within Fusion 360. I'm gonna hover over to the left-hand side, clicking on line, or pressing L on my keyboard. Now I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in, selecting at this very edge of our carabiner, clicking our mouse, and let's go ahead and drag this up right till it reaches the very top. Once done, I'll select the checkbox here. And now as you can see, we can go in here and start mapping out a sketch for this product. But we can't use the line command for this because the line doesn't really give us an accurate representation of this kind of rounding corner here. Now, one feature we're gonna use is the spline point tool within Fusion. To find that tool, we're gonna press S on our keyboard, type in spline, and what we wanna use is control point spline. Now, selecting the last previously selected dot, we can go ahead and draw out a couple of more dots, rounding out the top and creating this sort of nice rounded top edge. And once done, I'll click the checkbox, press escape. And since we're currently sketching, what we can actually do is to pivot these points right here in our sketch. And the cool thing about this feature is that we can actually pivot this and kind of move this around without actually affecting our design or the sketch too much. And I'm gonna go ahead and map this out as close as I can, getting a good look of our design and trying to map this as close as I can. And don't worry if it's not perfect. This is simply just for rounding out this corner. And if by any chance you need to add another dot to this design, you can right click your line and you can insert control point, which allows you to select the line, add another dot, and that's going to increase the amount of splines that you just added, allowing you to further make this a bit more accurate to your image here. Once done, let's go ahead and finish our sketch, pressing L on our keyboard, selecting this line here, or this dot, going all the way down. Then, right as it reaches the curve, checking this off, repeating once again, pressing S, control point spline. Then let's go ahead and finish this off by closing this out, and then just drawing it out and matching it up with our sketch or our image here on our canvas. Let's go ahead and clean this up. So dragging our points, making sure this lines up with our image. And I would say that looks good to me. Now, with all that completed, we pretty much have the overall layout for our design here. Now, one thing we can do is that we can go ahead and offset this in order to prevent ourselves from actually having to go back and redraw everything once again. So I'll press O on my keyboard, which is the offset tool, selecting the outer line here and dragging this line in to around, let's just say 7.5 millimeters. Once I'm happy with that, I'll press OK. And now we have a profile fully created within Fusion 360, specifically matching this carabiner we just designed. Now with this design or this profile fully mapped out, we can press E on our keyboard and extrude this by 7.5 millimeters, which is going to extrude this, turning this into a solid body. Make sure the operation here is set to new body and the distance set to 7.5 and press OK. Now let's go ahead and turn off our canvas, more specifically the image, as we'll no longer need this. You can hover over to the left-hand side, click on your canvas icon here, turn that off, and that way we can see our body within Fusion. Now, with all that done, the next thing we need to do here is to create a slit or an opening so where these two top pieces here kind of connect, but there's just enough of a gap or distance for them to kind of fold inward. So for example, when you have a carabiner, more specifically traditional carabiners, there's like a metal insert that allows you to push it in, allowing you to hook objects inside of it, allowing it to stay inside once it kind of latches back together. But since this is 3D printed, we kind of have to get a little bit savvy around this, especially if we want to create a carabiner that kind of mimics or kind of replicates the exact style that we have with the traditional one. So one thing I'm gonna do here is to create a sketch on this body here. So we'll hover over to create sketch here, then select the top face of our carabiner. Now, with that done, we're gonna go ahead and create a couple of lines. So just follow along with me here. I promise to do my very best to make this as easy as possible. So to start, the first thing we wanna do here is to press L on our keyboard. And what I want you to do is to create a total of 2 lines. Selecting this edge here, going all the way to the left. Once again, from this edge, going all the way to the left. Now, if by any chance your lines are not parallel, by default within Fusion, if you set your lines parallel to each other, you'll see this small icon here represented with these 2 lines. But in the rare instance, or in the chance where you did not set them parallel, you can use the parallel constraints feature within Fusion 360, located in the top middle section of the screen. Then select these 2 lines, and now they'll be fully parallel to each other. And since these were already parallel well in advance, you can see that arrow is going to pop up on the bottom right-hand side. With that said, the next thing we need to do here is set some dimensions for these lines, so that way we can create the profiles to cut into our body here. So pressing D on our keyboard, we'll go ahead and select this line here, and then this line here at the top right-hand side. And now we're going to go ahead and set the degrees for this. I'm going to set the degrees to 110 millimeters. Now, one more thing we need to do is to select this dot here and kind of line it up with the dot at the very top. I'm gonna set the distance between these 2 dots to 3 millimeters. Now, with that completed, you can see our top bar here, or our top line, is fully constrained, meaning that no matter what I do, I can't move this, I can't change its shape, I can't change its orientation, any of that nature, right? It's gonna stay exactly as is, unless I delete one of these numeric values here. But the one at the bottom can freely move, and we need to fix that because of course we don't want this to freely move, especially if we're trying to create a piece that is essentially a slit to basically create the cutout for our design. So let's go ahead and create a total of 3 more lines. We're going to create a total of 3 lines, which is going to create 2 profiles. So pressing L on our keyboard, we'll go ahead and select at the very bottom left-hand side of this line, dragging this up, then to the right, and then completing it up all the way at the top. Now, don't worry if it's not perfect. Right now, we're not meant to make it as perfect just yet. We'll set some dimensions for this to kind of clean this up. So I'll select the parallel constraint features on the top left-hand side, selecting this line here and this line here, making sure these lines are parallel, then repeating the exact same thing for the bottom left. The last thing we need to configure is the dimensions between this line here at the very top and at the bottom, and as well as this lines in the center. To start, I'll press D on my keyboard, select this dot and this dot here, setting the dimensions to, let's just say, 12 millimeters. Now, with that set to 12 millimeters, we can go ahead and set up another dimension for the line in the center here. Selecting this line here, I'm gonna set this to 6 millimeters. Now, since this line is 6 millimeters, we'll also need to select the one at the bottom left, making sure that it matches up to the best of our ability and setting that to 6 millimeters as well. Now, with that done, let's go ahead and set up another dimension to make sure that this thickness here also matches up with what we have here. These two lines here, setting dimensions to 2.25 millimeters and repeating the exact same thing for the bottom left. And there you have it. Now you have these two profiles created with these three lines. I know a little complicated, but I did my very best to kind of show you what it looks like. If you can, feel free to take a screenshot. Take your time to kind of replicate everything we have here. A little confusing, but I promise once you get it down, it's super rewarding. So let's go ahead and finish this off by clicking on Finish Sketch. And now what we want to do here is to create a cutout for our slit. To do that, I'll go ahead and click on these two profiles, press E, and I'll go ahead and set the extend type from here to to object, and I'll go ahead and rotate and pivot this underneath our body here. What this basically allows me to do is that it's going to create a cutout from the top to the bottom. And if any scenario where I want to change the thickness or the size of this changes, this is going to continue to extrude this all the way down no matter what I do, especially when I go back in my timeline and make changes. So I'll go ahead and extrude this down to object, which is the bottom face here. Make sure the operation is set to cut and press OK. Now let's go ahead and turn on our sketches, which is our sketch 3, which is what created our profile. And now what we need to do here is that we need to create or separate these two pieces here, because right now this is one whole body. So I'm gonna press S on my keyboard and look for this feature called split bodies. Pressing S on our keyboard, type in split. And as you can see here, there's an option here called split body. I'll go ahead and select the body within our canvas, then select the splitting tool, which is gonna be this top line here, selecting this icon here, selecting this edge or that face. And as you can see, Fusion 360 has created a cutout for our product here. I'll go ahead and make sure that extend splitting tools is set to checked, press OK. And now as you can see, Fusion has created a cut into our body, which has separated the top piece and the bottom. Now, right now you can't really visually see it. In order to visually see it, let's go ahead and turn on our bodies here within our folder icon here. And as you can see, we have two new bodies, which is the top and then the bottom. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Let's go ahead and turn off the top, leaving our body turned on, and then we'll go ahead and select this bottom profile here. Next, let's go ahead and extrude this all the way down, pressing E, setting the extend type to to object, then selecting the bottom face here, in which making sure the operation is set to join and press OK. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the exact same thing for the top. So we'll turn off body 2, turn on body 1, select this profile here, pressing E, and setting the extend type to to object, selecting the bottom face, making sure the operation is set to join, and press OK. Now, let's go ahead and turn off Sketch 3 as we'll no longer need it. As of right now, if we're to turn on both of these bodies, you can see that we have kind of like the overall workings of our Carabiner, but right now they are currently two separate pieces and we need to combine them. But before we combine them, we need to create some sort of slit or opening or some gap so that way they don't accidentally adhere to each other when we're printing it. So to do that, I'll go ahead and turn off body 1 once again. Then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and pivot this around. I'm gonna right click on one of the faces and click on press pull. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type in -0.16 and that's gonna create the clearance for the face here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold Command on my keyboard and let's go ahead and select additional faces within our body here to kind of add this to this feature. Now, once we have all the faces selected, if you hold Command, you can see what we previously had. once you let it go, you can see it applied the press pull feature onto this face here, kind of creating a little bit of a distance or gap between our carabiner. So I'll go ahead and press OK, turn off body 2, turn on body 1, then let's repeat the exact same thing for the top. Right-clicking on the right-hand side or on the face, clicking press pull, typing in -0.16, holding Command, and we'll select additional faces to add this to our feature set. Once done, press OK. Now if we were to toggle on body 1 and body 2, now we have this slit properly set up for our design, and we're pretty much almost done. Now let's go ahead and combine this. So the best way to do this is to press S on your keyboard, which brings up the design shortcuts, and type in combine. Now there's two options. We're gonna use this second one, which is this sort of blue looking icon here, selecting the top, then the bottom, making sure the operation is set to join, and press OK. Now this is one whole piece once again. What we did was that we split the two parts in order to create this slit, then combine them once together once we have the slit in place. Now, with that said, we're pretty much almost done. The last thing we need to do here is to kind of round out these edges for our design, which I think it's pretty optional, but I think it looks a little bit better. So we're gonna press F on our keyboard, which brings up the fillet option within Fusion, then selecting all the edges for our design. So it can be a little bit tricky here, but I want you to take your time with this. So what we're doing is selecting every single edge of our line here. So if you need to zoom in to kind of get a better look, selecting this edge, and we can round this in to, let's just say 2.5. 2.5 seems to be a little bit too much, so let's just say 1.5. So holding Command on our keyboard, let's go ahead and select these edges here, letting that go, and now we've successfully rounded these corners. Let's go ahead and add another corner here, then one here on the right, and then one here at the very top. Once done, you can see now we've successfully rounded out each corner here. And I'll probably deselect this one at the top because it's probably not necessary. And I think that looks good to me. With that done, press OK. And now we're pretty much done with our design. The last thing we need to do here is to chamfer this top edge here. Pressing S, type in chamfer. So let's go ahead and chamfer up the top by selecting the top edges. And just make sure to take your time as we're selecting every single edge here. And then once you have all the edges selected, let's go ahead and chamfer this to, let's just say, around 1 millimeter. That's gonna add a small chamfer to our carabiner, adding this sort of effect. And if by any chance you accidentally forgot to add an edge, you can hold Command on your keyboard and make sure to go in here and make sure to select every single thing, so that way you can add it to your design. I'm gonna double check and make sure I have it all around my product, and I'd say that looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and press OK, and now we're pretty much done. That creates our fully 3D printable carabiner. The last thing I'm gonna do here is add some color to this. So I'll press A on my keyboard, and I'll type in the color red in the library section here. Let's go ahead and drag this up and search for the color red so I can see no downloadable materials. I'll toggle that off, and let's go ahead and find a red color. So I'm gonna use plastic matte red, drag and drop, close, and let's go ahead and save this into Fusion. So clicking on save, go ahead and name this day 5 carabiner. Once done, click on save. And now let's go ahead and export this into our slicer. So I'll right click on body 1, click on Save as Mesh, and go ahead and export this to your slicer. That's gonna open up Bamboo Studio for me. And let's see how it pops up. And there you have it. You have your fully 3D printable carabiner, fully designed from start to finish. This is a fun and simple design, a little bit tedious to make in the beginning, but once you know how to make it the first time, the next time around, it's easier to make, and you can print a whole bunch of these and use them for your own personal use, to use it on your backpack or keychains or however you want to use them. With that said, that pretty much wraps up today's video. If you guys enjoyed it and want to get access to more content around 3D printing, designing, and even selling your own custom products and designs, make sure to check out 3D Printing School. 3D Printing School gives you everything you need to get started in 3D printing, mastering this hobby, and as well as in-depth guides and tutorials that you don't find on YouTube, and as well as a live and vibrant community. So if you ever get stuck, you'll always get responses from me personally to kind of help you get answers to the questions that you have. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down below in the description. With that said, make sure to like, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.